It's time for the Green Wave Coaches Show, broadcasting each week from Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin, Tennessee. The Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Gallatin's local hometown hardware store, serving Gallatin and Sumner County for the past 50 years. Stop by and let Jimmy and his staff take care of all your hardware needs. Bank Tennessee, the bank for the Green Wave. Delta Dental of Tennessee. Visit deltadentaltn.com. Double Dogs, Sumner County's favorite sports bar, and the Ingram Law Firm, a local law firm that you can count on. Let our legal family help you and your family in your time of need. Now, let's get to the show and join our host, Blaine Kellar.
Postseason starts now on the Green Wave Coaches Show. Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar here with Gallatin football coach Michael Stroup. The Green Wave won 33-0 Thursday against Wilson Central, securing the number 3 seed in the Class 6A playoffs. Gallatin will face Blackman on the road Thursday. Before we prepare and preview that game, Coach, we want to start with the big win that you had to end the regular year. Do you feel like it was a needed one as you go into the postseason?
I mean, any win's a good win, you know. I thought the kids needed it. I thought the coaching staff needed it. We had 2 weeks in a row of some pretty good competition, especially up front. And, Coach Kuhn over there at Wilson Central does a tremendous job and prepares his teams very well. But, yeah, I was proud of the kids' effort and the coaches' effort during the week. And, it corresponded with a win on Friday.
We're brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Delta Dental, Double Dogs, and the Ingram Law Firm. Broadcasting every Tuesday evening from Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin. Be sure to check us out. Only a few more chances to do so as we get into November. Again, every Tuesday night at Prince Street Pizza and Pub. Coach, do you try to cherish this win a little bit with players, with seniors especially, maybe with Jackson, with this being the one that kind of ends their home careers in a sense? Nothing's guaranteed in November, so I guess do you try to cherish this win that ends the regular season at all?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if I ever get a chance to cherish many wins. You kind of you get it, and then you're on to the next one. Yeah. You have time after the season to go back and reflect and that, but you don't really have a whole lot of time to celebrate or pout. You just got to get back to work on that Saturday, and you gear up for the next opponent. So. That's what kind of makes football a little bit different from most sports because, basketball, they have long seasons, and baseball, they have long seasons, but, you're playing so many multiple games back to back to back that you kind of, I don't want to say you kind of grow immune to whether you lose or win or whatever, but you've got to turn the page quicker. In football, man, you got 6 days to, you've got to get over it or whatever. So, yeah, probably, when it's all said and done, you go back and you reflect on some of the things. And, I know it's probably a big moment for those seniors for sure and their parents, man. You look out there and you had 28, 29 guys out there. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. And our assistant principal was kind of worried that we wouldn't get it all fit in. But, proud of those seniors. They were sophomores when I got here. And changing the culture in the way that I wanted it isn't easy. It's not easy for any coach coming in and trying to put their fingerprint on the program. So, hats off to them. Had great parents, man. I've got a great set of parents that help me out behind the scenes. That work with the programs, work with the post game food stuff. Sunday foods for coaching staff when we meet on Sundays. So, a really special group that, the other classes and parents are going to have to follow up and be big shoes to fill.
When you talk about seniors and culture, specifically defensively, how pleased were you to see that unit that maybe struggled in recent weeks against some good opponents kind of back up that belief that you've shared about this unit on this show these last couple of weeks with the shutout?
Yeah, again, they do a really good job at practice. I've never once felt like, it was a dragon type week. We maybe a little bit after the beach week, but these guys have done a really good job of staying focused and getting after it. And, for them to come out and have a shutout on their senior night, last home game of the year at Calvin Short, it's big for those guys, big for us, but really proud of them and not giving up. And they could have at any point in time if they did, and they kept plugging, and really proud of those guys.
Is it ever a goal for you and for your teams to blank another opponent like that? Like Gallatin's had 2 shutouts in the last 4 seasons, both coming under your regime, the other last year against Warren County.
Yeah, I think it's hard these days to shut teams out just the way offenses are these days. I mean, and putting athletes in space, it's really hard to do that. I just want us to go out there and play well and do that. We don't. Every defensive coordinator out there, every defensive coach, every play, they want to shut out, and
Sure.
those are goals to have. But it's just hard in this day and age to do that. It's hard to obtain that. So and those teams that do it, man, they're really good on defense, and you've got to be really good defensively to get those. But with the spread offenses and people playing sideline to sideline and different zip codes and all that, so it's hard to get those.
Gallatin winning 33-0 against Wilson Central on Thursday. A couple of players defensively wanted to highlight and ask you to talk about their play a little bit. Jason Morton had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, had 2 interceptions by the defense. The secondary continues to play well in getting turnovers. Xavier McMurray and Ontarius Scott with those turnovers. Talk about the play of those 3 in particular.
Yeah, J-Mo, who that's what we go by with him as his nickname. He's a great kid, man. And there was a point in time this spring where he didn't think he was going to be with us, and I think a month went by and he came in the office one day with a big smile on his face, and he's got the best smile in the world. But he said, "Coach, I'm gonna get to stay," and gave me a big hug, and other coaches a big hug. So. He's a really great kid, and he plays with a high motor on defense. And when he plays confident, he's hard to deal with. And if he'll learn to play with confidence all the time, he'll be tough to deal with. Xavier McMurray again started for us as a sophomore. I think 8 games last year. So he came in this year and has done a good job. I think got a 91-yard interception return, which I think puts him in top 10 in school history, and I think that's what Dale Pryor told me over the weekend. So it kind of puts him in good company right there. And Ani, Ani is he's something else. He's a kid, and he does really good for us, and. I kind of got on to him today a little bit, but it's just because I love him. And, love comes in many different forms, and so me and him had a little conversation today. But it's just getting those guys, encouraging those guys to stay locked in, stay focused. And, they have good days and bad days. They're kids.
Right.
But it's my job to kind of pick them up and dust them off and, pat them on the back or kick them in the rear end. So Ani today needed a little kick in the rear end, so I got him.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense in this win. Starting with the running back position, Malachi Harper had 3 touchdowns to complete some drives for you. I believe that was a career high for him for 3 scores in a game. Also utilized Cage Johnson a lot. 11 carries tied his most for the season. He had a season high in rushing yards as well. I think somewhere in the 60s, 66 yards per my notes. What made you feel like you could utilize him a little bit more in this game?
Well, it was for and we've had, situations where we want to get Cage in the game throughout the year. It just hasn't panned out for us that way. The rhythm of the game, and you kind of go on how the back's running. Malachi took some hard hits and took multiple carries and got him out of there, and then Cage gets in there and, Cage will find a little seam and he'll hit it, and Cage is a good back, and he does a really good job for us. Doesn't say 2 words at practice. He comes to work, does his job, and doesn't complain a whole lot, but he's blue collar, carries a lunch pail, and just gets to work, and it will pay off for him in the future, 100%.
Quarterback situation, Keyshawn Barksdale, I was told a concussion. Is that where you guys are?
Who told you that?
My sources remain anonymous.
Got some HIPAA
on the
laws
Green
out there.
Wave
HIPAA laws
Coaches
out
Show.
there, Blaine.
Maybe, okay, the protocol
laws.
then. Is
Okay.
there,
All right.
what is his status right now as you go into Thursday's game?
He's in protocol. He will not participate Friday. Riley Ridings, our senior, will take the reins, and Riley's done a good job this week in film, and he has been there the whole time behind Jack, and so he'll get his shot to go in there, and he'll do a good job for us.
The confidence that you have in him, he's been Jackson's backup since you showed up here at Gallatin. So the confidence that you have in him to kind of run this offense, can you talk about that?
Well, when it first came down after Jack sustained his injury with KB and Riley, Riley that week just it didn't click. He'll tell you himself. He didn't throw the ball very well. And KB kind of gave us an option to run a little bit with quarterback play. So we kind of went with that against Station Camp and just kind of rolled with it since then. He had a really good performance against Beach, we felt. But Riley is Riley knows the offense. So some things for KB probably didn't take advantage of. Riley can and he will. What Riley lacks in arm strength, he probably makes up in charisma. All right, and he's got confidence, and he'll do a good job for us. And he's done a good job this week going out there leading the offense and being verbal and doing the little things, and he'll have a good night.
One more as we go into break here on the Green Wave Coaches Show. The last 5 games, you finished with a winning record despite your starting quarterback being injured. Can you reflect on that at this point? I'll probably ask you something similar next week, but the fact that you all have been able to tread water in this way and actually have a more favorable playoff spot out of it.
Well, I'm gonna be the honest answer is a lot of coaching. It's just I chose a profession where people are going to sit in the 11th row up there and voice their opinions and give me their hot takes because they won a Triple Creek state championship somewhere and at some point in time. So, but at the end of the day, man, you just got to go out there and you got to put a game plan together, and we've got coaches that do that. And kids are going to make mistakes and kids are going to mess up. But it's our job as coaches to be there and correct that when they do. It can't be perfect all the time. If they were, they wouldn't need us. So, it's at the end of the day, man. It's just you got a group of coaches. They put a game plan together, and we all kind of bang our head up against the wall. And say what can we do to put our kids in the best situation? And case in point, we go out against Station Camp where we kind of just changed our look altogether and moved the football. And so that worked for us going forward. So just a lot of hard work, man, and getting after it. At the end of the day, hats off to the kids too. I mean, KB came in a tough situation and took over where, I'll be honest with you, and I hate saying this because it's my kid. It's not easy to follow Jackson.
Yeah.
And I would say that if he wasn't my kid, but he's any guy on that football field will tell you that, he's kind of the heartbeat and the soul of that football team. And when a guy like that leaves the field, they're kind of left looking around, and at some point in time, coaches are too, but that's where I've got to remind the team and remind the coaches, hey, we got to move forward, and we had that conversation at Station Camp. He ain't coming back. We got to go forward, and he would tell you the same thing if he was here. So if it was one of y'all got hurt, we're just gonna keep going. So, it's I'm proud of the guys and how they responded after that injury and able to, kind of keep it together a little bit. We wish we would have won some of the games we lost, but we just got to get better in those areas.
Task lies ahead in the postseason for Gallatin, taking on Blackman on the road in the first round. When we come back, we will preview the Green Wave and the Blaze on the Green Wave Coaches Show.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper, speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Delta Dental, Double Dogs, and the Ingram Law Firm back here at Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin, getting ready for a first-round matchup between Blackman and the Green Wave on Thursday night, a 7:30 kick. I did watch some tape this week, Coach. You'll be pleased to know. Big offensive line, it seems like Blackman has. Protects the quarterback well.
Yep.
We've talked about this in previous weeks, the challenge of facing a line that is sizable.
Yep.
So what do you tell your players, the defensive linemen maybe, to be up to that task?
Hunker down, stay low. Don't play high. You play high, you get rolled up. You got to stay low. Shoot your hands and low pad level.
Do you think that facing those teams, maybe the Beaches and the Lebanons, the larger offensive lines, has that prepared you for this kind of matchup?
It doesn't hurt. You know, it doesn't hurt. But again, you got to learn from your mistakes, and you got to get after it, and you're going to have to play a lot of guys because those, you know, we're going to be smaller than them, and that's no excuse. You got to go play. So you know, you just you're going to have to rotate a lot of guys in and out, keep fresh and the stamina up. But you got to go play.
Last time Gallatin was in the postseason, it traveled to Oakland, lost 38-3 to the Patriots. What do you learn overall about that first trip out to the Murfreesboro area to maybe prepare for the planning aspect of things?
Well, I mean, I learned that they had a really small indoor pool because it was right there behind the school, and we got there. You know, we left here at 5. We got there at 6:30 because of the traffic, and then we were just like hustling, and when we moved the game to Thursday this week, you know, that was one of my negotiation tools. Hey, we'll move it to Thursday as long as you move to 7:30, and so they agreed to do that, and so we'll kick off at 7:30. That give us a little bit more time to get down there and just kind of get acclimated down there because you don't want to be rushed.
Size on the outside, too, for Blackman's receivers. Darian Davis and Brylan Odor, both 6'3".
Yeah.
How do you feel like your athletes will be able to match up to their skill position players?
I mean, they're 6'3", so I mean we're sitting out there at 5'10". So I mean, what do you think the matchup looks like?
Well, I think you've got some guys that have a little bit more.
We're scrappy.
Than that.
You know, I mean, Xavier is as good as they come. Now he's a young one, but I'm telling you, he fights and he gets after it. I enjoy his effort. You know, I think Ryan will do an excellent job. Ryan has been a really good defensive player for us this year, and Ani Scott will also be a force out there too. He breaks on the balls well. He'll get an interception from here and there. He knows how to break on the ball. So I mean, our kids will get after it, man. Our kids will go out there and fight, you know. And, you know, I've been here a short time in this area, and I understand that, you know, people say, well, they're just kind of built different in Murfreesboro. And they're probably right, but you still got to line up and play the game.
Sure.
And you know, I've seen crazier things happen.
You played a Thursday game this week, and you mentioned the challenges in preparing for that. How much more is that amplified going into the playoffs?
Well, I mean, we're used to it by now. You know, we just got to get out there and get after it again. And, you know, we played last week on a Thursday. The most, I guess, when I sent the message out about changing the game, one of the young kids texted me, is tomorrow a walkthrough? Well, last week wasn't a walkthrough. You think this week's going to be a walkthrough? But, you know, we'll practice as normal tomorrow, and we got to get out there a little earlier because of daylight saving times. We don't have any lights on the practice field, so it gets dark about 4:40. And we don't have a stadium on campus, so we can't use those lights. But, you know, we'll get out there about 2 o'clock and start practice and, you know, get after it.
Gallatin and Blackman going up in the first round of the TSSAA Class 6A playoffs. Coach Matt Kreisky has his best record at Blackman, probably his most talented team. Do you know anything about the coach that you're going up against here? I've asked all season about the players and the teams overall that you're matched up against each week. What do you know about the coach that you're going up opposite in the playoffs?
I don't know a whole lot about him. I know he's got a brother at Riverdale, and I know they got to be originally from West Tennessee because he had a 731 number. I think a parish number, matter of fact, Henry County. But there's some connection through coaches. You know, I worked for Jim Glover, and he worked with Jim Glover at Centennial, so we have that connection. We spoke about today, but other than that, not a whole lot.
Be a fun matchup on Thursday night as Gallatin returns to the Class 6A postseason. That's your preview for the start of the playoffs. The other side of this break will close with our one fun question on the Green Wave Coaches Show.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Our one fun question on the Green Wave Coaches Show is an AMA this week. Coach, you asked in between breaks a week ago, when do I get a fun question for you? You did a year, I think it was 2 years ago. I tried to throw one to you. I didn't give you time to prep, though, admittedly. So it was a lame duck of a question. I've now given you a week of time to prepare here. You now have free reign to ask whatever question you want to close out the Green Wave Coaches Show.
I've got two.
All right.
First one.
Yeah.
Does the Kellar family run and promote a micro wrestling organization?
Here you go again. I like that you're using the term micro wrestling. That's a good callback. Not to my knowledge. Is there some tie that I'm unaware of?
I believe there's
here?
an establishment on Highway 25 somewhere going towards Trousdale that may use the Kellar name.
Are you sure it's with an E? It could be with an ER.
Don't know how they spell it. Never
AR.
been near the place.
I haven't either, but I am familiar with this establishment. I've heard about it.
You have?
Yeah, I've had a friend of mine who has invited me to a work outing of his that was held at this establishment. Now I wish I would have gone to see the spelling of the name.
I'm gonna need to be there.
I'm gonna start doing some research on this place. There we go. Okay, what's your second one?
All right, so if you could trade places with any broadcaster, all right,
okay,
coach or player, who would it be and why?
Okay, I'd go broadcaster because that's, I think, easy. I'm a very big Texas Rangers fan. Eric Nadel is a Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Texas Rangers, very revered in his profession. So I would pick that one just for the sense that you get to be the play-by-play guy for my favorite baseball team year-round. That would be the broadcaster. coach or player. Maybe like a Dan Campbell.
Okay.
Over with the Lions. I like his moxie. And
would you carry that moxie?
there's a lot of caffeine involved in that moxie from what I've been told. So I'd have to start ordering 4 shots of espresso with my coffee.
I feel like there's more than caffeine in it.
Well, thank you for those 2 questions. You've now given me some homework in between now and then to look up about the wrestling facility off of 109.
It's Highway 25, not
Highway
109.
25.
Yeah.
Okay, glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
I'll close this out on the Green Wave Coaches Show. Be sure to catch our coverage of Gallatin and not Lebanon, Blackman to close the to get ready for the playoffs. You threw me off track here.
Got
me
you
off
shook
the
up.
rail. You shook me up.
You'll catch Blaine at a local micro wrestling near you.
I do not get rattled easily, but that will close our show. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.